Hey guys, it's Perry from Super Niche, and we got something really special planned for you today. We're at the Bryant Park Hotel, and we're going to visit the CEO of Parmigiani Fleurier, Mr. Guido Terreni. Come with me.
Hi, Barry. Welcome.
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. How's New York going?
Fantastic. Great. A couple of days.
Yes.
Incredible. It's been really rewarding this week.
That's great. I heard you got some goodies to show me.
Yes.
Let's have a seat.
Please.
So, Guido, it's a pleasure to finally meet you.
My
I
pleasure.
am a longtime fan of Parmigiani, and what I'd like to talk to you today about is a few things. Obviously, we have some beautiful watches here with us, but I want to go back to the 25th anniversary,
Okay.
right? Because I feel like that was a pivotal moment for the brand. I think when you talk about design, we always kind of think, especially nowadays, there's the build-up,
Mhm.
right? Kind of maximizing on design. And very few talk about one of the other pillars of design, which is reduction.
Mhm.
You guys reduced the product offering, and then you reestablished your design language.
Mhm.
Take me back to the Tonda and the thought process behind that.
Well, first of all, thank you for your warm greet. I'm touched by your words, and I'm happy that we touched your soul. That's
In my
what-
pockets.
Yeah, but that's a consequence. First,
Yeah,
because-
exactly.
No, but it's really you nailed what we try to do.
Mm.
I think luxury is a very cultural exercise before being a commercial.
Yeah.
Okay, and what you are looking for is to generate an emotion that is specific to the values of the customer and the values of the brand. These two values have to match,
Mm.
and the product is designed to be a synthesis of these values. So when I joined in 2021, I saw that the brand had this prestige, which was phenomenal. This heritage with Michel's work, which is deeply respected, no,
Mhm.
by an audience. But the brand had lost a little bit direction, and by providing the audience with a watch that was very Parmigiani, but was moving forward the
Mm.
aesthetic of the brand, clarifying its design language, clarifying its brand identity, made the brand take off, and the relaunch was started with that. So you rightly said, if those values are looking for what we call a private luxury, this is the experience that we try to provide.
Mm.
You have a customer which is a connoisseur. We're not serving a customer who is mainstream. We're not serving a customer who follows the flow. We're serving a customer who is beyond that tipping point in luxury, where you understand that what is cool is what I like,
Yes.
and it's not what other people are
Right.
obliging me to wear. It's desire difference from hype.
Mhm.
It's two different brand purchase drivers, if you want. And it's something that is extremely refined, because this world is going in a direction that is a bit strange now. Everybody's moving towards a more quantitative approach,
Right.
and it's not about how much you spend that makes you cool. It's what you do with the money that you spend.
What you spend it on.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
how you spend it, what you're saying, the why of things, that is
Yeah.
very important. So this is at the core of our creative work. So we put this emotion that has to be underlining the sophistication, the refinement of the customer. It's independence in its choices, because to be understated and to be not showing off your wealth is part of our values.
Yeah.
Is something very bold. You think about understatement as something that you want to fade, you don't
Mhm.
want to be noticed. In reality, that's like the maximum expression of elegance.
Yeah.
It has to be balanced, has to be winning time, it has to be personal. And this is what we put at the core of the redesign. And you have to understand the brand. And what we played with were the aesthetic codes of the brand that were already in the brand. But it's like music. You have 7 notes and you do many things with those 7 notes.
Sure.
But so you have to respect those codes, and you play them in a way which is more fresh, more contemporary. And so the codes were very clear to me when I joined. And we the first release was the Tonda PF that kicked off the relaunch. And the way we used those aesthetic codes in the PF were telling you that the brand was reinventing itself, respecting its value in a way which was much more fresh, much more contemporary, but never compromising on the quality of the finishings, on this mood of, as you said, toning down. I call it a pure design idea, executed with extraordinary finishings. And that makes attention of luxury, of refinement.
What I love about the Tonda and really the entire collection, you have the Tonda, the PF Sport now, and the Toric series, is the design codes you talk about. You're embracing these small nuances, but they add up, right? And you can see that though these two, for example, you have the Toric Petite Seconds here and the Tonda, that though they're different, this is a dress watch, this is clearly a sports watch, they're of the same family.
Yes.
Right. They have the same DNA.
Well, what you said is very important, because a lot of times brands design watches looking at just the watch, and you don't see the consistency of the brand across the collections. Sometimes it's due to the distance in which the collection were designed, because if you're a brand that has 100 years, sometimes the watch was designed 80 years ago, and so we have the chance to have designed them in the contemporary era. So that's helping us out. But the language, the construction of the purity of the design, so the opening of it, the indexes are small, the tones or levels of the dials between the minute scale and the central part, the finishings that are there is a consistency of language that you have. But then you're looking for different expressions, a nuance between a dress watch that is not a classic dress watch like the Toric is redefining the ways of having a dress watch on your wrist, because we are less informal, we are more informal than before. So we play with colors in a way which is very fresh, and that's part of the elegance that you want to have. On the integrated metal bracelet, it's more difficult to be. You have less freedom, because the body of the watch is a monochromatic kind of construction. But you do play with the same level of attention. The logo at 12 o'clock is one of those aesthetic codes that's more evident. The logo is at 12 o'clock is telling you this watch is for me. It's not for the others. The logo is for the others. By taking away Parmigiani Fleurier on the lettering, you're stating it with more subtleness, with more interest.
And it goes back to that thought process in terms of the reduction.
And even when you play with the materials, we decided to do a two-tone on the micro rotor, which is the first time that we do it on a men's watch. You see how you play with the gold. It's underlining the design of the watch. So you're using the metal to outline the design. So
because because they taper. This is really nice.
So when you talk about level of finishings, you see the metal that is designed to be underlining the beauty of the bracelet. It's not an interruption transversal, one link in gold, one link in steel. That this is not a design statement. This is just mixing the metals in a way that you do half thing on half thing. So here you're really going down to all the length of the bracelet, and you're nesting a beautiful PF logo in gold, that highlights this movement of color. And then the finishing here, you have a chamfer because it has to be soft at the touch. You have another polished chamfer between the brushing and the polished lug here that reflects the light. And you have a brushing, very thin. It's almost silky, because you don't see even the rays of the brush. They're so soft that it's just a way to play with the light and reflect it differently. So
it's awesome that you guys are even considering that. You typically don't see this level of finishing on a sports watch.
Oh, no, absolutely not. It's a hand gear shell. A sports watch is something unique. The colors that we choose here, it's incredible, because you have a yellow light. So this is not the color that you will see in the flesh. But if I move it towards the window,
Yeah, it almost goes navy.
This is stone blue.
Yeah.
So the watch lives, you know, in the environment, and this is what we play with. Our colors are always mixed and interesting, easy to wear, pleasant. And when you get to, for instance, the Cermet, it's the same thing. You have a tech material which is unprecedented because this is a patent that has titanium inside it, and it reflects the light in a way which is extremely powerful. So
Mm.
if you're showing it against my blue suit, you will reflect it. So
Yeah.
it lives, it lives with you. Ceramic is absorbing fully the light, so it would not be interesting. It would
Sure.
not be. It doesn't have that subtleness of the material.
Mm.
So it's
There's
really
a transformative quality to
exactly.
a lot of the pieces, and I love how much consideration that you all give to color. Me and some other friends of mine, other collectors, we often talk about how there's so many great brands, but sometimes they miss the mark just because of one little thing they didn't consider. You know, you can do a super complicated timepiece and everyone can get crazy about it, but it's not attractive, right? And I think people underestimate like how important design is, and the watch has got to have some kind of sex appeal. What you guys do with color, I find really, really interesting because many of the watches you can almost wear with anything. They transform.
Well, look at this palette of colors. No, you have a. If you think of the Versace green that we came out with the GMT as another example. So
Right.
what we're doing is you need to find a color which is distinctive but is
Mhm.
not flashy and which lives through time
Yeah.
because your watch is designed to outlive you. You're not supposed to be worn out by
Mhm.
creativity in few years that you're wearing it. So the research of the color palette is something that is extremely important. First of all, to build a language. So these pastel colors that are never loud, always flashy, have a certain serenity. When you look at the watch of Parmigiani, you have to have a moment of pause,
Yeah.
this calm.
Yeah.
It gives you this, how do you say, sensation of feel good, no?
It almost the time
Yeah,
stops a little bit.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you. So we are inspired by a palette of colors which comes from a Swiss architect which called Le Corbusier, who is
Mhm.
one of the founders of Purism as an architectural movement. And Purism is going at the heart of the idea, the simplicity of the idea. It has to speak by itself. And the more
Right.
you go to the essential, as you were saying before, toning down
Mhm.
makes the idea more powerful.
Yes.
And we're trying to simplify the complications like that. You know, you saw the QP, the Perpetual Calendar.
So let's talk about that for a second.
But I'm finishing on the colors
Okay.
because, and that palette of colors has been designed in 1931
Mm.
for homes.
Mm.
Okay, when you decorate your house, you don't want to change the decoration every 6 months because you exaggerated in the
Right.
colors that you chose. So you look at that palette of colors; it's our mood board. It
Mm.
was designed almost 100 years ago. It seems like it's designed today.
Yeah.
So this tells you that those colors have an effect on you because when you decorate your home, your mood
Yeah.
is related to your surrounding, your
100%.
home. So those are pleasant colors that pass through time and that allows us to understand that that mood is something that works over time.
Yeah.
And we don't literally copy those colors, but we get inspired from them,
Mm.
and we choose things that are very easy to match. This golden hour on a blue suit is
I mean, it's
fantastic.
beautiful. Yeah.
On
It
your
pops. This
on
is
your brown is fantastic. So
yes.
and coupled with this
The gray
almost
strap.
icy gray, there's a little bit of blue in it, a little bit of gray in it. It gets the patina when you wear it, so it lives with you.
And it almost the brushed dial. It shimmers a little bit, very, very subtly.
Well, you're touching another point. This is an artisanal craft, so
Mhm.
it's done by hand. What is a grenet? A grenet, you see through the light. So, and the light is the object that you're looking at is interacting with the light
Yeah.
because the surface reflects light in different ways. So
Mm.
if you're looking at a mirror polished case, it will be shiny. If you look at a matte finishing, it will be absorbing the reflection of the light. So in order to be pleasant at the reading, the dial has to be absorbing the light in a matte way,
Mm.
but the finishing has to be luxury. So this grenement is a brushing by hand of the gold dial that you have in order to get this reflection that is matte. And the thicker the brush is, the more thin the grain that you will see are. So we don't want an invasive texture behind the hand, but we want the hand finishing. So when a brush goes over the step from the top part of the dial, which is the bigger surface, and the counter, the brushing has less friction on when it does the jump, and you will see in the counter that it's not perfectly done because it's done by hand. And that defect that you think, if you look with a loop, that's not right. That is what gives you that hand touch.
It's the character. It has its own spirit.
It's like a vinyl record instead of a CD.
Exactly.
You know, you have
that warmth.
that warmth of the finishing. Then the stitching is another reference to masculine vanity without being flashy. It's done through a tailoring tradition.
It feels sartorial.
Exactly. And then again, when you put such an amount of work on the movement in gold with all the finishing, beautiful. You don't want to look it through a blade. So that's why you have an Ardion strap, a pin buckle. This is Michel's purity to enjoy, because when you want to enjoy your movement, you want to look at it without any interference. Yeah. So the point buckle would be a blade in the middle of your eyes, and it's too much for this watch. It will take away the elegance of it and the pleasure of looking at the back, which again, gold movement, double barrels, finishings that are extraordinary. So this is no compromises on the quality that we put and then the effect that we put.
My favorite release this year, obviously the Tory Petite Seconds was amazing, but then the Perpetual. And I was talking to a friend of mine, Lex Barrero. He's a big collector down in Miami. And I was telling him why I thought, for me, this was watch of the year. I like perpetual calendars. And there's something about the busyness that appeals to me, just because I like mechanics and things like this. But your take on a perpetual, I found really interesting, because how do you make a perpetual calendar feel like a time only? And it feels like that. It's the registers are there, but they almost fade away. But when you need them, they're right there in front of you. Yeah. I want to talk about the intention behind that design.
It goes back to that idea of purism. It goes back to the idea of being essential, not being redundant, to give you a serenity in when you're looking at the watch. Every watch, whether it's a two-hander or whether it's a high complication, multi-complication, the first two hands that you have to repair, hours and minutes. That's what you're looking forward to know what every time you look at the watch, what time it is. So the perpetual calendar information have to be in a second degree of reading. And by taking out the moon phase,
I'm glad you said that,
you have the calendar information that are needed.
Yes.
And by doing them coaxially on two counters, you have the maximum readability possible. And the contrast between a perpetual calendar traditionally done, which is a very busy dial, which is beautiful. It's not our way of doing it.
Exactly.
So we are looking to simplify the complication at the maximum. And you see that also on the GMT, which the function even doesn't exist until you need it.
Yes.
No, or the mini retropant is the same function that didn't exist before, done again in a very subtle way. It becomes interesting. So when we were developing this, I was talking to collectors, people who love the perpetual calendars, and I said, "What do you like about the perpetual calendars?" I like that they fill the dial, they're busy. So I said, "Oh my God, I'm going to do the opposite." It will be lovely, you know? And then you meet the same guy a year later, and he saw the watch and said, "I love it."
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it.
We didn't know we needed it.
Exactly. So when you are surprising a customer, which is exigent, a perpetual calendar customer is a hell of a customer. You know, you're talking about somebody who is into watchmaking a lot, and you twist the mood and the feeling of that in something different, but something extremely appealing. I think we nailed it, because it was something that went down to the essentiality of the function, and it fit perfectly in the philosophy of the torque. And we designed it in the same moment we designed the Petite Seconde. So the opening of the case is 39. The counter is in that shape on the Petite Seconde. It's the same size on the two perpetual calendars that are at 4 and 8 o'clock. So it's a language that speaks exactly the collection through the function. and you are already creating a design constraint when you are designing the movement, not even knowing in which case you will be putting it, because the position of the two pivots that are coming out at 4 and 8 o'clock are perfect for that opening, and if you do it smaller or bigger, it doesn't work.
It doesn't. No, it's not
So
balanced.
that's the perfect size for that watch.
The through line, this idea of private luxury and it being for you is being replicated along each piece and each line, right? You're talking about the petite seconds, the Tonda, these complications that you're making that, it's there when you need it. It's there to serve you. You don't often see brands thinking about their product in a holistic way, this way. It's almost, in a lot of ways, it's not from a design aspect, but from a thought process, it's almost very Apple. It's like you guys are creating an ecosystem within the product itself. And you don't really see that in watchmaking. There isn't given a lot of consideration to the rest of the collection when you're moving piece by piece. What are you guys working on next? What's coming down the line? I'm really interested just because of the last few years that you've had. It's been hit after hit.
But I think I always say that a brand is like a person. It has its values. You cannot pull it by the jacket going one direction or another. So consistency is extremely important, and being able to nourish this private luxury and these codes of the brand, it's extremely important. If you go to Watches and Wonders every year and you see, I don't know, 600 watches in a week, 800 watches in a week, I don't know, even 1,000 watches in a week, you take the plane, you go home, you say, how many?
You forget most of them.
How many are you keeping in your mind? And you probably count 15, 20.
Maybe.
And then you go next year to Watches and Wonders and you say, what did I see last year? Okay. And then you have brands who have 270 years, and think about everything they launched in those 200 years. You cannot do one thing here, one thing there. So it's extremely important to give the customer the time to digest what you are doing. And that passes through having a philosophy of design and of innovation, because the two go together. So, and in watchmaking, design is not a culture that is in the industry.
No.
I would, if you some of the most beautiful products that hit the industry are designed outside the brands. So and the industry is more into starting from the movement. No, there's a word in French that's called habillage. Habillage is what watchmaking calls every component that is outside the movement. And habiller in French means to dress. So you're dressing the movement. Okay, so this tells you the philosophy of a watchmaker creativity. To me, the two have to speak at the same level, because you fell in love with the aesthetic of a watch, and then you are reassured by how it's done, what it's made, how it's made, the finishings of the movement, etc. So everything has to be an holistic experience, but it's like the left brain and the right brain of your head. They have to work together, and this is what we brought in the relaunch. You see that there is this language that has to continue. So we're not going to change this. We're going to keep on building on this, and we're going to find ways to be interesting in order to continue to add that intellectual work on luxury, because luxury is about moving forward. It's not looking in the mirror and replicating your past. You do a lot of business doing like that, but a customer which is edgy, who is living the frontier of luxury, is interested in what's next, but not for the sake of, I want to buy the next novelty, for the sake of being interested by something that's moving forward.
Being moved.
So we will continue to work on work premiere. We will continue to work on the aesthetic of our watches to move the needle of aesthetic in a way which is refined and keep that going. And we will also work on the high end with exceptional pieces. Every 2nd of December, we come with a piece that is going to celebrate Michel's birthday, his legacy, his work. So that's outside the collection, if you want. But so this is what we will continue to do.
Guido, this has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending time with me. And I'm in love. If I can get my hands on the Perpetual, then I'd be a happy man.
Wow. Love to. We'll see.